The 1968 Chicago Bulls hold the record for the fewest wins in an 82 game season um, while making the playoffs. Um, the 68 Bulls was the second season. Um, they were an expansion team, and it was their second season in the league. And the 68 Bulls won 29 games that year. The 2006, the 2005 2006 Lakers um, were basically an expansion team. um, but actually, the 2006 Lakers won 45 games that year. And I have contended in another video that the 2006 season was was the greatest offensive season in NBA history. It is also my contention that the 2006 Lakers were the least talented team to ever make the playoffs. Um, and what I mean by that is, in terms of a supporting cast and not counting the team's best player, the team that had the worst supporting cast to ever make the playoffs, I contend, was the 2006 Lakers. And the reason I say that is because when I compare the 2006 Lakers to even the 1968 Chicago Bulls, it is clear that the Chicago Bulls had a more talented team. So here is a list of the players, the 2000, I'm sorry, the 1968 Bulls, um, listed by the individual players' player efficiency rating ranking. Okay. Now on that team, Bob Boozer, who among good players in NBA history was so undistinguished, I didn't even know who he was. He was the best player on that team. He averaged about 19 points a game. I think one or two-time All Star. I think this was his only All Star season, and he had this team to pull to the playoffs. So these players are listed in order of minutes played. Okay. So as we go down, the individual player played fewer minutes. So obviously at the top is Flynn Robinson. He played the second most minutes on the team. Okay, um, and then Jim Washington and so on and so on. So when the number 28 affixed to Robinson is to say that Flynn Robinson had the 28th uh, ranked PER that season. So now this is seven players. And the worst of these seven players was, of course, McLemore, sorry, McCoy McLemore. And Mr. McLemore had the 79th rated player efficiency rating that season. Now, you have to keep in mind there were only 150 players in the league that year. Okay? 158 to be exact. So this team made it to the playoffs, won 29 games out of 82 games. They won 29 games. And Every player on this team was among the top half of players in the league. Let me say that again. Every player among these seven, so there were seven players on that roster that were among the top half or so players in the league. Now, I picked PER as a sort of lazy metric to kind of rank all the players in the league. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of PER, but I mean it'll suffice for my purposes here. Uh, so there's seven players. So in other words, Bob Boozer had seven teammates that were likely among or in the top half or so players in the league. Okay? And I only listed players that played a minimum of 1,000 minutes. Again, 158 players, so it's a much smaller league. Okay, I think that year there were only maybe like 12 teams, and like I said, the Chicago Bulls were well, the prior year they had been an expansion team, so they managed to make it to the playoffs their first year in existence this year, which was their second, and then they did not make the playoffs the next year. So Bob Boozer had seven teammates that were in the top half. They won 29 games. So this is a list of Kobe's 2006 teammates, ranked by player efficiency rating, ranking. And I looked at the prior year. Okay, so this is how they ranked in the 2005 season, 2004-2005 season. Okay, because I really wanted to get a really good sense of just how much talent Kobe had to work with coming into that season. So this is who he went to war with on opening day, the 2005-2006 season. Okay. So again, it's ranked by minutes played. So the player that played the most minutes during the 2006 season was Lamar Odom, Smush Parker, so on, so on, so on. But the numbers affixed, okay, are for the 2005 season. Because again, I wanted to look at how these players performed the prior year. Who did Kobe have to play with coming into the season? My contention is that players tended to play better when they played with Kobe. Okay, so when you get a player that's got let's say a 200, let's say Smush Parker, for example, his PER went up in the 2006 season. That's an inaccurate representation of who he was on opening day of 2000 in the 2006 season. Okay, so these are Kobe's teammates, ranked by their player efficiency rating ranking the prior year. Keep in mind also there are 450 players in the league, actually 458 players in the league that year. Okay? So if you notice, Kobe's best teammate obviously was Lamar Odom. Okay? Number 63. Now, number 63, you're talking about, there's 32 teams in the 32 teams in the league. So the number 63 rated player would be maybe the second best player, the worst of the second best players on a team. Okay. The thing that jumps out, Smush Parker played the third most minutes during that season. And he was coming into the season one of the worst players in the league by far. And in fact, given that the midpoint was about 225, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players that are in the bottom half of players ranked by PER ranking. So whereas the Bulls had all 7 of Bob Boozer's teammates were among the top half of the players in the league that season, 5 of Kobe's 8 teammates. 5 of Kobe's 8 teammates were in the bottom half, and including the player, the starting point guard. Okay, coming into the season, was rated the 425th player in the league. Okay, Kwame Brown had the 4th most minutes that season, 308. Devin George, 297. Chris Mim has the highest ranking on this team. Interesting thing about Chris Mim, along with Smush Parker, was so bad that he got cut from the Cleveland Cavaliers team that ended up the 2003 Cavaliers team that was so bad they got the number 1 pick in the draft, which became LeBron James. So Chris Mim and Smush Parker couldn't play for the worst team in the league. And here they are 2 years later getting significant minutes on this Lakers team. Okay? Way down down on this list, Sasha Vujacic, he would become a better player in successive seasons. Luke Walton. By the way, I think 3 of these players went on and won championships with Kobe. I think Lamar Odom, I think Devin George, Sasha, and of course Luke Walton went on to win championships with Kobe, a testament to his ability to make his teammates better. Okay? So here you have it. This is a significantly less talented supporting cast than even the losingest playoff team in NBA history. Kobe's season in 2006, that was an amazing season to have pulled this cast. You understand? Not only did they didn't just make the playoffs, they were the number 7 seed, and then pushed the number 2 seed to a 7-game series. So when I say that Kobe is the greatest singular component to a championship team, this is what I mean. You know. Now, in a future video, I'm going to examine Michael Jordan's impact on his teams when they were bad, and not so much. Not so impressive. Okay, but thank you very much. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and you have a good day.